Today on Canadian History Ehx, I'm going to look at one of the greatest boxers in Canadian history. No, not George Dixon, not George Chuvalo, but Tommy Burns, a man who was the heavyweight champion of the world and one of the greatest boxers to ever put on gloves. So here are 10 things you may not have known about Tommy Burns. He was born Noah Brousseau in Hanover, Ontario, and would change his name to the Scottish-sounding Tommy Burns in 1904, 4 years after he started boxing. On February 23, 1906, Burns was a 2-1 underdog, and the betting was 10-7 that he would not last 10 rounds in a fight against Marvin Hart for the heavyweight championship. He would win a 20-round decision in the fight and defended his title 11 times over the next 3 years. Previous champions defended their titles only against other white opponents. Burns traveled the globe fighting all challengers. He was the first heavyweight champion to fight a Jewish challenger and the first to fight an Indigenous person. In 1908, he agreed to fight the legendary Jack Johnson, becoming the first fighter to agree to a heavyweight championship match against an African American. He would lose the title, but took home $30,000, or $692,000 today. In 1909, Johnson told a crowd at a match that Burns deserved credit as the only white heavyweight who gave a black man a chance to win the title. During the First World War, Burns would serve in the Canadian Army, serving as a physical fitness instructor for the troops. After retiring from boxing, he would move to New York City and in 1928 operated a speakeasy. Wealthy from boxing, he lost his fortune in the Wall Street crash of 1929 and was forced to work odd jobs as an insurance salesman and security guard. In 1948, he was ordained as a minister and died while visiting a church friend in Vancouver. 4 people attended his funeral. Standing at 5'7", he is still the shortest heavyweight boxing champion in history and the only Canadian-born heavyweight champion. Burns is a member of the Canadian Boxing Hall of Fame, the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, the International Boxing Hall of Fame, and the Ontario Sports Hall of Fame. I hope you enjoyed that look at Tommy Burns, one of our greatest heavyweight boxing champions ever. If you like, you can subscribe to my podcast, Canadian History Ehx, available on all podcast platforms. You can also visit my website at CanadaEHX.com, email me with any questions you have at craig@CanadaEHX.com, and you can support the podcast and the show at patreon.com/CanadaEHX for as little as $3 a month.